So, campaign. New campaign. Right, so I'm definitely not going to be playing on easy. Each mercenary manages an individual amount of gold. Right, yeah, so that's how it is in the tabletop game too, where you don't have a pool of gold, but each character has their own, and you can't really pass it along. -1 level modifier, that's just no modifier. +1, +2. I don't know, actually. I mean, I think the early scenarios are pretty hard on the higher difficulties. So I'll just try normal for now. And as this is still the beta, I'll probably have to play this again once the game releases tomorrow anyway. So if this is too easy, I can still switch. Enter a guild's name. Mr. Can I... oh, just one capitalization. I'll just call it Folderol. Confirm. See what we get. Is there an intro? I don't know.
Welcome to the harsh lands of Gloomhaven, recruit. You think you have what it takes to become a mercenary out there on the edge of the world? We are paid to venture into the darkest forests of the region and to step into ancient crypts with the unmistakable stench of death and rotting flesh. Lovely places to earn a name for yourself. Be ready to face cutthroats, undead, fearsome tribes, and dreadful demons from other realms. You didn't find yourself as a mercenary without knowing how to crack a few skulls, did you?
Nice, short and sweet. And of course, the narrator's Scottish. Before going into the harrowing wilderness surrounding Gloomhaven, you'll need at least 2 mercenaries in your party, brave or greedy enough to seek out adventures in exchange for gold. So this looks pretty much exactly like the board game does, right? This is Gloomhaven, the city, and these are the surroundings. Oh, I can actually scroll out. And it looks exactly the same. A bit stylized, maybe. Dagger Forest, I think this is. And this is the forest where we will have our first mission, I assume. Some swamps here, some mountains here, the ocean here. I can't, like, click this like a hyperlink, can I? No. So, reputation, level 1, what does that refer to? My characters? Or the enemy level, I suppose. Reputation 0, which means no changes in item costs. Gloomhaven Wealth 1, and this is, I suppose, character slots. On your left, you'll find the party panel. Here you'll see the basic information of the mercenaries in your party. Click on the first character slot to open the roster panel. Can do. You can create, view and add mercenaries to the current party using the roster panel. Right now it's looking as barren as the Copenhagen Mountains. So best click on new mercenary. I can, sure. Has a unique game style. Sure. Right, so what do we actually want in our party? That's an interesting choice right now. We can pick up to 4, although for this beta version I'm considering just taking 2 to start with to get a little bit of a feel for it and not get bogged down into too much, you know, minutiae in combat, get acquainted with too many characters too fast. So I think for our purposes here we'll pick 2 characters, and if any of you in chat have any preferences, please feel free to let me know. Also, welcome everyone. Because I'm not entirely sure. I really like the Scoundrel. I played her for a bit in the base game, so I'm tempted to take her, which would mean another little more tanky character would probably be a good idea. So either the Craghard or the Brute. Also, the Mind Thief can work as a bit of a more tanky character if you play him with like the heal self augment, but it's not really his biggest strength, I suppose. So pretty basic would just be Scoundrel and Brute, I suppose. Do I want to do that? Sure. I'll go with the Scoundrel first, unless any of you have any other preferences. Right, Scoundrels are self-serving and opportunistic. They believe that everything is theirs and will do anything to make sure it becomes so. She excels at high damage melee attacks, identifying lone targets and also gaining bonuses from working close to her teammates. She's a loner, however, so don't expect her to help other party members apart from killing their attackers. Ability cards 12? Is that how it is in the board game? I thought it was 11 maybe. Oh no, maybe it's 12. That's a lot though. High mobility, potential of high melee damage, good use of poison, doesn't aid teammates, few defensive abilities, will try to take all the gold. Good choice. Now remember, looks aren't everything. Merc's ability cards are what define their actions in battle. You can click the starting ability cards button to make sure this is the right mercenary. Sure. Also from the board game, I remember that you actually have a bigger choice of ability cards for your starting roster or starting build than you can carry to each mission, and you can exchange them after each or before each mission. But she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, and I can take... It doesn't tell me how many I can take on a mission, which I think is 9, right? Yeah, he has 14, can take 11, 13, 10, 15, 12. Yeah, that's how that works, okay. So you always have like 3 more to start with than you can actually take on a mission. Starting ability cards. So, yeah, I know those more or less already, so I won't go over them right now. You can look at them closer when we are actually in a mission. So I'll select the Scoundrel. Oh god, I need to name all of them. Suggestions. What do I usually name my Scoundrel characters? I think my last... What game was I even playing last? My last Skyrim character, that was kind of a Scoundrel. Had this Italian name called Saljat. Create Goliath Toppler. What is this? What? Personal quest. Oh, we need to choose a personal quest now. Sole reason for adventuring. Once the objective is complete, the merc will retire. Beware. When mercenaries retire, there will no longer be a playable character. Sure. Though farewells can be bitter, some things have to move on to give way to new horizons. Unlock new character classes. Right. So I have a choice of 2 now. Goliath Toppler. Complete 4 boss scenarios. That actually takes quite a while, I think. You still remember the day that shadow passed over your village. Everyone said it was just a cloud, but you knew it different. A dragon. The prospect filled you with wonder. You knew that one day you'd leave your village in search of other rare, majestic creatures, and that you'd do them the honor of facing them in battle. That is what true heroes do, after all. Complete 4 boss scenarios. Rewards unlock this character, which I don't actually remember the name of, but I think he's more of a tanky character. +1 prosperity. Or merchant class. Own 2 items. Oh, own 2 helmet items, 2 armor items, 2 boot items, 3... What are those? Something items, 1 hand or 2 hand items, and 4 potion items or bag items. Money is power, and merchants rule the world. You figure that if you can gather enough equipment together, you may be able to set up your own shop somewhere and work toward becoming a real merchant. Let the suckers keep fighting in dungeons over scraps. I mean, this fits more with the mercenary class, I suppose, right? Or with the Scoundrel class. Rewards unlock the 3 Spears class. That's actually a cool one, and +1 prosperity. I think I'll choose this one. $30 gold. That's 1 merc sorted, but you'll need a minimum of 2 mercenaries before you can go out seeking adventure. It's important to build a party of mercs who complement each other in battle. Click on the second character slot in the party panel and create a new character. Know that you can't have more than 1 merc of the same character class in the party at the same time, so be sure to create a different one. Can do. So it seems like I'm not spending her gold yet, or am I? Yeah, I guess I need to do this first. It's a bit finicky. I can't really... Oh, I don't... Yeah, okay. So new mercenary. I think we're going with the Brute. The Brute employs great size and strength to earn a living by wielding his huge sword and impressive shield for those who pay the most. Brutes are best used as frontline melee troops, absorbing damage and protecting the more fragile ranged damage dealers, and are best equipped with items that keep them alive longer. Difficulty low. Oh, it has a difficulty advice setting here for them. Melee damage tank. Strengths. High health, defensive abilities, access to early disarm and stun, great at pushing enemies about. Weaknesses, low mobility, poor ranged attacks, not the greatest conversationalist. That is a pretty big drawback, I gotta say. Why is that grayed out? The grab and go. Yeah, I know these more or less already. So I'll select him. What do I call my Brute? What's their race even? I forgot. Savas or something? No. I think he looks like an Ernie. I'll call him Ernie. Personal quest. The perfect poison. Kill 3 oozes, 3 lurkers, and 3 spitting drakes. That can also take quite a while depending on what scenarios you get. Creating poison is an art. So many ways to die, so many ways to paint a canvas. You've been happy with your work up until now, but this will be your masterpiece. There are rumors of exotic creatures in the lands around Gloomhaven. If you could just collect a few samples, then you could craft a poison that will preserve your legacy. It's interesting. Unlock this class, which is... I played this one before, but I forgot what it's called. +1 prosperity. And unlock the sun. I don't think I've played that before, so this might be more interesting to unlock this class. Also, finding the cure. Poison and cure, that's an interesting juxtaposition. I think our Brute here is more interested in finding cures than poisons. Kill 8 forest imps, then unlock the scenario Forgotten Grove. I also like the special scenarios that some of the quests give, because other than the quests you don't have any access to those scenarios, right? At first it was just a cough, one of your neighbors keeping you up at night. But then it spread and got worse. Blood, boils, death. The Elder says a cure can be found deep inside the Dagger Forest. The forest imps know the way. If you can gather enough of their essence, you may be able to find the way yourself. So I like this more as a quest, I gotta say. Ernie has joined the party. Right, so time to do some adventuring. If you are confident with your current party, click on the center of the screen to close the party roster panel and head back to the world map. Or you can delete characters as well. Bone Guard. Oh, there's different skins? Well, that's probably DLCs or something. Finding the cure. Okay. Before heading out on your first quest, you should gear up. After all, it's your first time out in the open. You'll notice each mercenary has a modest stash of gold. It's encouraged to take that money over to the merchant shop and spend it on anything that might just keep you from dying. Merchant buttons down here. World quest. Black Barrow, your journey starts here. Yep. He looks lovely. Remember, each mercenary has his or her own stash of gold and personal inventory, so make sure you click on the right mercenary portrait before you purchase an item. I'm probably gonna mess that up at least once at some point. So, when ready, click the world map button below to return to the world map. Right, so this is actually gonna take a little bit of time now, I suppose, because I don't really remember what items are left. Also, let's see how this looks. So, oh, I can actually filter them through here. That's nice. There's not too many items. Okay, so helms. We have the eagle eye goggles. We're looking for our scoundrel now. Gain the advantage for the entire attack action. Can I actually look at the cards too? Yeah. Right, so she has a couple of things that attack multiple targets, I think. At least one, with throwing knives. Also, I have sometimes attacks on the lower half. Although I think the eagle eye goggles gain advantage on the entire attack action only refer to one card half, right? So I can't activate these and then gain advantage for attacks on the upper half of a card, and then gain advantage again for attacks on the lower half that I might have. So it's not as strong for her. Yeah, I get more cards later that let me allow multiple targets, but I don't think Eagle Eye Goggles are actually the best card for her to start off with. I mean, the Iron Helmet is always sometimes a lifesaver, but more so for my tank, I suppose. Yeah, I think the Cloak of Invisibility is... Although, like, I think in the base game it recommends you start the Scoundrel with a hide armor, and after some time I was just like, no, I'd rather exchange this for the Cloak of Invisibility. Although, if you just have two characters, if you control them both, I think you can do a lot with positioning that you don't actually need the Cloak of Invisibility for. Then again, if you do a lot with positioning and our Scoundrel Ernie, or our Brute Ernie is attacked anyways, then I don't need the hide armor too. I think the Cloak of Invisibility is probably better, even though it costs 20. I mean, the game recommends you start with leather armor, sorry, not hide armor on the Scoundrel. Heater Shield is not for our Scoundrel. Piercing Bow. Again, it's a tire attack action that might be better for later. The Poison Dagger could be interesting, but it's pretty expensive. As is the Warhammer. Boots of Striding are always good. I actually think I have some jump options, right? Or do I? No, not right now. Huh. Obviously stamina potions are always good to have, because it just increases the cards you have available. So I think I'm definitely gonna go for one stamina potion and use the other 20 gold for either Boots of Striding. Poison Dagger, I don't think so. I mean, it's neat to have, but both the Boots of Striding and the Invisibility Cloak are better, I think. Because you can do really neat stuff with an Invisibility Cloak too. Even if you control both characters and if you only have two. Like, just doing stuff like walking into a door and then turning invisible can be really fun. So I think I'll do this. Right, so then we spent all our gold with her. Let's see what Ernie gets. Maybe an Iron Helmet. That comes in clutch more times than you would expect, I feel. I could go for the hide armor. It adds 2 -1 modifiers though, and if I remember correctly, where do we even have our... I guess we only get those with a level up, where we can select perks. Oh, this is actually different. Old skin active. Okay. I like the old skin. How about for her? Looks a bit too much like World of Warcraft to me. I like this better. Anyhow, so for him, you can pick a perk upon level up with the Brute that lets you ignore negative item modifiers, I think. And then the hide armor, especially for a price of gold, becomes very good. Because it gives you more, gives you shields. And even without it, -1 modifiers aren't the end of the world for Ernie here, because he's not supposed to do most of our damage. Although in a 2-person party, I don't know. Heater shield is definitely also an option for him. Ooh. To have multiple target attacks, I do. Or the Warhammer could be fun with Sweeping Blow. Although it's probably rare you hit more than 2 targets with that, but still. I also have the Leaping Cleave. And the Skewer. I mean, I haven't played this guy with Warhammer to start off with, but that could be interesting for sure. It's a bit offensive though. Like stunning that many enemies. I'll think about it. So hide armor and iron helmet. I mean, that's definitely a possibility, you know, is hide armor, iron helmet and a potion. Because they're both cheap. Or just a Warhammer. Boots of Striding, Winged Shoes. I don't think so. Of course, I could also... Wait, how many potions can I hold at level 1? I think just 1, right? Or can I hold 2? Because obviously healing potion is good for him, but a stamina potion is good for all characters, so... Could also give him 2 of those. Any opinions in chat? Let me know if you want. What do you think are the best starting items for the Brute? Or even the most fun ones? I think the most fun one would be the Warhammer. I can't get it back through a long rest though. And I can get... I mean, the Iron Helmet is just always active. And I can get the Heater Shield back through a long rest. Also, long resting might be useful sometimes. Especially since I can't expect any heals from my Scoundrel too. So full on defensive would be like Heater Shield, hide armor, right? I don't know. Opinions? Opinions. Healing potion, power potion, stamina potion. I mean, I really like the Warhammer, but I don't usually like... I like having options too. The Warhammer... I just have these 2 cards that I can use it with. I mean, and the Skewer... The Skewer is a fun combination, by the way, because it gets attack 4 if I use Wind Energy, and I can create Wind Energy myself with Leaping Cleave, and they're both non-loss cards. So that in combination with a stun could be fun. I mean, let's do it. I've never done this before. And it might not work very well, but we'll see. Also, you can always sell items at any point in the game you're with the merchant for half their price. Which, you know, it's a rip-off, but what can we do? Right, how do we world map? Yeah, I think we're good. Mercenaries will unlock and more powerful ability cards each time they level up. Look for synergies between ability cards and adapt your hand depending on the enemy types you'll be facing. Having the right cards against the right enemies might just keep you alive. On the ability panel, you can edit the deck of cards you take to a dungeon. Each mercenary has a different amount of cards they can carry and can only go adventuring to a fully equipped hand. With a fully equipped hand. Hover over the abilities to view their full description. Gloomhaven isn't known for its well-mannered folk and good Samaritans, but there's a lot to gain from its city streets. You can choose to partake in city encounters by clicking this button below. It's encouraged that you do this whenever you're in the city, as they often give good rewards. If you ever find a quest that looks too hard, or one you've repeatedly failed to complete, the Temple of the Great Oak can grant you its blessing. For a fair price, of course. You can choose to access the temple by using this button below. The first quest location is marked just north of Gloomhaven. You'll see it flagged with an icon. As you progress, more quest locations will appear across the map. To keep track of them, you can use the quest log on the right-hand side of the screen. Click on the black barrow or the entry in the quest log to select the quest. You can embark upon a quest with up to 4 mercenaries, but the more mercs you bring, the more dangerous the quest will be. Once you set out for a quest, you won't be able to change the members of your party until you return to Gloomhaven. So I definitely want to do the city encounter. After resting, and these are not voiced, I'm not sure if they're going to be voiced in the release version that comes out tomorrow, because when I was playing the tutorials, some of the texts there were voiced and some of them were not, and I expect because they were by the same NPC, like an NPC called Trainer, some of them were voiced, some of them were not, so I expect that there's going to be more voiceovers in the full release. Don't know about these city events and quest texts and whatever though. City encounter. After resting for the evening, you start your day noticing a great number of prominent commanding posters around the city. Reading one, you learn that the Sanctuary of the Great Oak is laying down the foundation for a new building on the east side of Gloomhaven. Everyone is encouraged to come and help. This could be an important community event. Go help lay the foundation or take the opportunity to steal some valuables in the area while people are distracted. So, when it comes to, you know, ideology of our party, I suppose we're a bit torn, right? Because we have a brute. I mean, he's called Brute, but his quest is to find a cure for an illness that is affecting his community, so he's a good guy at heart. At the same time, we have this Scoundrel, whose quest is just to steal as much stuff as possible in order to enrich herself and then eventually open a shop, right? So both options are viable here, I suppose, from a roleplay perspective. I feel like our Scoundrel would just do this though, whatever, even if the Brute would want to do the other thing. So yeah. You head to the prosperous east side of town, not to help lay down the foundation, but to steal some goods from the shopkeepers too silly to lock up their wares during the festivities. You make up with a good deal of money, and the distracted guards are none the wiser. And now, I'd like to know if this was successful because we have a Scoundrel in the party, because sometimes that happens in the base game. In other words, I don't know if the game here tells us what the conditions for success or failure are in these events, or if it just presents us with the result, which would kind of suck. I'd like to know the reason for my failure or success, you know? Or this encounter just gives the same result regardless of who's in your party, I don't know. In any case, we get 5 gold each, which is nice. So theoretically we could go shopping again, but there's nothing that costs 5, so. Also, the Great Oak costs 10, I think. Right. Mercenaries will be blessed every time they give a donation of 10 gold to the Temple of the Great Oak. A blessed mercenary will gain 2 additional ×2 attack modifiers for the next dungeon. Remember, each mercenary has his or her own stash of gold and personal inventory, so make sure you click on the right mercenary's portrait. Yeah. It's good that they keep telling us this, otherwise I would always buy stuff for the wrong mercenaries, I suppose. Well, this is interesting. Can I, like, zoom in here? Oh, this is nice. Old Docks, Merchant's Bay. Hook Coast. New Docks. Temple of the Great Oak, there it is. Oh, I can also enter it through here. Coin District, New Market. East Barracks, Travelers District, University, The Void, Northern Barracks, Mixed District, Ward of Scales, Horn District, Merchant, Boilers District, The Sinking Market, and West Barracks. Let's go back to the world map. And I suppose our first quest is up here. Black Barrow. Embark on your first quest in the Corpse Wood. It's a core quest, and the objective is to kill all enemies in all rooms. It also gives us a little preview of what we can expect. So apparently some skeletons, some bandits, and some ranged bandits, and also a question mark. Also gives us a little bit of a preview of our route to get there. Not that that matters much, but I guess it does for roleplay purposes. But before I do that, also what's this exclamation mark? In the equipment panel, you'll find the different types of items a mercenary can carry. Clicking on an item slot will display all the items of that type the mercenary owns. If the item slot is displayed in grey, it means you currently have no items of that type. Fair enough. So I do have a body item. Oh, I actually need to put those on. Good thing I checked. And a minor stamina potion. Right, so my second small item is locked, and it only unlocks at level 3. That's good to know. Can have a maximum of 5 at level 9. 2 out of 7 equipped. Okay. Wait, what? Right, so Warhammer occupies both hands. Obviously, we want to equip that. Also, I like the idea of the brute just having, you know, his sword and shield, but on his back also like a mighty warhammer that he can use whenever he wants to do like a swiping blow, knock down a couple of enemies. Kind of a cool idea. Right, so one other thing I wanted to check out is this though. Okay. So this is just our complete set of cards, and we can equip a total of 9 with the Scoundrel for the next mission. And I wanted to change that up a little bit. More specifically, I wanted to... Oh, I don't actually know. Let me have a look. Single out. Attack 3 at +2 attack and gain 1 when the target is adjacent to any one of your allies. I definitely think I want those because they are nice XP generators. And also 5 damage is good. And this condition is very easy to generate with the Brute, who's a melee character, you know. Also, the secondary is on your next 4 attacks targeting enemies adjacent to none of their allies at +2 attack. And these are basically the 2 conditions that buff attacks by the Scoundrel, right? Either the enemy is adjacent to one of your allies, or the enemy is adjacent to none of their allies. And if you can combine the 2, you can actually dish out a good amount of damage a lot of the time. So single out is interesting, although it's also got a very good initiative. And good initiatives, by the way, don't just mean low initiatives. It can only also mean very high initiatives. Bad initiatives means anything that's in the middle, right? Because initiatives in the middle don't let you really control whether you go first or second. But with a high initiative, you can actually decide to go second most of the time, and that can actually be an advantageous thing. So 86 is actually quite a good initiative too. I don't really like the this one though, because it binds one of our cards. Flanking Strike, definitely, that's like a must take. Move 5 on the bottom and one of those on the top. Smoke Bomb is also a must take. The pull alone is very powerful, and also the invisible and then double damage can come in very clutch. I really like Backstab, although it is a burn card on the top. Move 6 is nice though. Not entirely sure about Thief's Neck. Thief Snack. It's fun to mispronounce this, by the way. Venom Shiv. Poisoning someone is nice. Also unconditional XP is nice. Move 6 is nice. Move 5 is nice, I mean. Initiative 60 sucks. I do really like throwing knives, although the bottom sucks. Quick Hands. Quick Hands can be fun because it has a move at the top which can be good. I don't really like Special Mixture. I do like Sinister Opportunity, especially if I have a way of creating dark energy, which I think we do through Smoke Bomb. At least once per scenario. But especially the lower part can be fun. You know, you can steer enemies into traps and stuff like that. So, also I like 93 Initiative quite a bit. Trickster's Reversal isn't usually that good unless you meet enemies with a lot of shields, and that's not the case early on in the game so much. And this is just... the next time you suffer damage this round, suffer no damage instead. This is just bad. Generally you want to be avoiding to suffer too much damage as a Scoundrel anyway, so it means you've made like a positional mistake or something. And this basically means you set yourself up to take damage and then negate it, which is just useless. 9 Initiative's good, but still. So I'm not gonna take Trickster's Reversal. Swift Bow can be fun, combined with the boots, of course, that we don't have right now. Because it means you can move 4 squares and loot everyone. Otherwise it's useless. Attack 3, range 4 is decent. But you know, I think I'll take Thief's Neck because it has an attack on the bottom. Also, this is a nice XP generator for the start, but it's definitely one that I'll exchange pretty early on, I think. And then also Quick Hands, because if I want to move and then attack twice, I can move here, attack here, and then with Thief's Neck it's a nice combo. I have 3 more. I'll probably take Throwing Knives. Also probably the Venom Shiv for the move 5. Special Mixture, nah. I mean, if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. There's a decent amount of you in chat right now. And I'm happy to have you all here. So feel free to chat with me. I'm generally pretty happy to exchange thoughts about Gloomhaven or anything else. So I still have 3 more. So I'll probably do like Venom Shiv, Throwing Knives, and then Single Out, I suppose. Specifically for the top action. Don't really like Special Mixture. Don't really like Trickster's Reversal to start with. And the bottom just sucks. And Swift Bow is fine, but I think Single Out is better. Also, Swift Bow has like a bad initiative. Now we have like a fair amount of very low initiative and a couple of high initiative cards too, which is fun. So I'll do this, and then... yeah, right. And as for our Brute, Hike Civilian... Hi Verifuzz. Full release is up on the 20th, I think. But you can actually start playing the campaign already if in Steam you right-click your game and opt into the beta. Which means some things might still not be there, like I think some voiceovers are definitely still going to be added, and also some bugs probably, but it looks pretty bug-free right now. The official release is tomorrow though. I can certainly recommend you to buy the game today if you haven't, and if you're planning on getting it, because I think they're planning to increase the price with the full release by like a third. So it might be a good way to get it today. You only play Brood. You're in Australia, so it's already tomorrow for you. Yeah. I've been to Australia before, so I know what that's like. So it's on the 20th at I think 7 p.m. by Central European time. I don't know when the release is for you exactly, I'm afraid. So as for the Brood, I definitely want the Skewer. I think this is such a fun card in combination with Leaping Cleave. They're both non-loss cards. 35 is a nice initiative for Brood anyway. And you get like a 4 attack with Pierce 1 that generates an XP on 2 squares because you're generating your own air energy. And you have a jump. So it's just what's not to love. What am I taking out though? Maybe Trample. Pierce is not that powerful at the beginning of the game. And also the lower half is a loss. 72 kind of sucks as initiative. Target all enemies move through is pretty good though. I mean, this is just way too good, I think. The Retaliate. Sweeping Blow is also pretty good. And the push is very nice. Provoking Roar. Trample Bottom is super fun if you have the boots. Yeah, I actually opted to take somewhat of an unconventional choice with the Warhammer here. I've played the Brute before and I've never taken this, and I don't know if it's a good idea, but it still seemed fun to me. Especially with, you know, Leaping Cleave and the Skewer and the Sweeping Blow in the deck. So Sweeping Blow I'll definitely keep. Provoking Roar. Disarm can be good. Also 10 initiative is nice for him. Any enemy who targets one of your adjacent allies. Oh. Targets you with that attack instead. Overwhelming Assault is a burn, of course, but the push is nice. Grab and Go probably sucks. Yeah. I mean, I might be a little low on move otherwise, but I don't like that too much. Also Trample, yeah, with the boots it can be fun. But as a burn, I don't think it's that powerful. Let's see what else we have. Shield Bash, I mean the lower half is very good. Leaping Cleave I want to keep. Spare Dagger. Also very good with the Warhammer. Trample plus Warhammer, all the fun. Stun 3 enemies. Oh, that's true. I mean, I do have other options for the Warhammer with the Sweeping Blow and the Leaping Cleave, you know, and the Skewer, but I see what you're saying, certainly. Also, I have the space for it. Shield Bash I like. Spare Dagger could be nice to have a ranged attack, but I'm not really feeling it. X is the number of hexes you've moved so far this turn. Move X, where X is the amount of damage you've inflicted so far this turn. I mean, that could be fun. If I have, like, you know... Wall of Doom is probably better, though. Although it's a burn card. Plus 1 attack if all of your attacks this round. I don't know. What's my last card here? Balanced Measure seems pretty situational. But it could also be pretty fun. Should I take Grab and Go even? Spare Dagger? How are we doing on moves? 6, but a burn. 3, none, none. 3, none. 3, none. 4, but a burn. Could be good to have another 4 move. Or an attack on the bottom. You also like grab and go for the movement? Yeah, okay, I'm convinced. Right, so I think that should be it. As for equipment and everything else, I will start this quest today, but unfortunately I need to take a little bit of a break now. I think I'll leave the stream active, but I might be gone for like 15 minutes. Stick around if you want. I'm glad to have you. And otherwise, maybe check in back in 15-20 minutes if you want to see me play this mission. Thanks for watching so far anyhow, and I'll see you in a bit.